Hello and welcome to a session that includes Pilates and digestion. In other words, Digestion-lates. Some things that help the process of digestion are breathing, twisting, rotations. As well, we're going to incorporate the kegel. If you don't know what a kegel is, well, now you are going to learn. It is great for incontinence and to strengthen your pelvic floor muscles. However, it is difficult to teach because you cannot see it. It is something that is happening internally, and you will have to feel for it happening. But basically, think of the bottom of your abdominals, the very base bottom, the space between the sitting bones. Tense or activate that muscle. Think of urinating and stopping the flow of urination in midstream. That's one of the easiest ways to explain the sensation of a kegel. I will also be using a squishy ball. You don't need to have a squishy ball. You could use a pillow or a stability ball. And it's just to better connect to our pelvic floor, to feel how our pelvic floor can rest on a surface that is not a hard, flat surface. Sometimes that is easier to engage with our pelvic floor muscles. Think about lifting the pelvic floor higher, 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 as if it goes through levels, like an elevator. You lift the pelvic floor to floor 1, you lift it to floor 2, floor 3, and so on and so on and so on. You're going to keep lifting up and up and up. So I'm in a low kneeling position. My knees are cushioned with a towel, and I'm sitting on the squishy ball just to help me feel my pelvic floor resting into a squishier surface. And now as you exhale, try lifting the pelvic floor muscles up and away from the floor, from the squishy ball, whatever it is you're sitting on. With that pelvic floor lifting, you are also going to tighten your tummy, your lower abdominals, the space behind your belly button and between the hip bones. So the abdominals work better, they work deeper in connection to your kegeling. Inhale, and as you exhale, breath out and lift from the pelvic floor, maybe to level 1. And release slowly. Next time you exhale, you're going to intensify and try to lift 1, 2 times with the pelvic floor, abdominals also participating, and slowly release. Kegels are also good for if you are pregnant. They should help in the delivery process because you are controlling the tightening and releasing of the muscles in your pelvis. Okay, and let's try just rolling the shoulders a few times. We are going to be incorporating Kegels throughout the moves in this session, so I will be cueing to activate your pelvic floor. With some space behind you on your mat, knees bent, let's come all the way down, rolling slowly onto your back, bringing one knee into the chest, straightening the other leg out. So this is knee to chest pose. Feel a stretch through that hip flexor on the straight leg. Circle the top foot around. Exhale so that the thigh pulls in closer to the stomach. And you're creating a little bit of... Oh, Luna. You're creating a little bit of tension between the stomach and the leg, which is helping the process of digestion. So let that process take shape, take form. Exhale, increase the squeeze in the abdomen by lifting the forehead towards the knee. Flexing up, you can hold underneath the knee, nose or forehead towards the knee. And now let's lower the head down and twist that bent knee across the body, rotating the trunk of the body. Keep the chest open and focus on your breathing. Breathe in deeply into this twist. It is not super easy to breathe into a twist, so try to emphasize the breath. And now you're going to bend that knee closer towards the shoulder or the chest and then release. Again, just squeezing into the abdomen and releasing. Try to hold the knee towards the chest as we continue to twist. So we're just bringing that twisting leg into a different position to feel a different sensation than how we usually do it. Bring it back to the center for one more nose to knee and switch sides. Second knee bends in, straightening the opposite leg long, and let's circle that top foot 8 times one direction, then the other. Let's add the flexion, bringing forehead or nose towards the knee as we flex the abdomen and holding underneath the knee, trying that one more time. Now, as you exhale, you can try adding a kegel, deepening the pelvic floor, lifting up, up, up towards the belly button. And let's add the twist, crossing the body, resting the top foot on the bottom leg. Keep shoulders down, and let's take a focused, intentional inhale deep down into the low back. And now that top knee is going to bend higher towards that opposite shoulder and lower down about 4 times. And then try resting down with the knee a little higher up. So a bit more pressure in towards the abdomen. Hence, the invitation for the digestion process to work. Come back to the center for the nose to knee move. Flex on up. And now let's try both knees into the chest, hands wrapping around the knees and rocking side to side. So the thighs are dropping into the abdomen. Hands on to the knees and moving the legs and knees and feet in one circular direction. And then we'll switch the circular direction the other way. A nice low back massager. A great digestion move. Releasing some tension in the hips and pelvis. Again, flexing up, nose towards the knees. Squeeze a little deeper. Bring the arms floating above the ground. Let's kegel up. Pull the pelvic floor in and up, 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 up as you exhale, exhale, even deeper exhale. And set up the legs into tabletop. Legs together, arms out to a T shape, or I'm doing robot arms. Letting the legs drop 50% to one side and through the center, 50% to the other side. We're not going to go all the way down just yet. We're going to keep this active and flowing and moving from side to side. Let the rib cage move, but let the shoulders and arms try to stay still. Now dropping all the way down into the twist, let the legs be supported by the earth, one leg stacked on top of the other. Relax into the twist, breathe into the rotation. Let's move this to the other side, fully releasing the legs. Lots of space in your rib cage and waistline. Try to keep the hips stacked. Reach the sitting bones away from the shoulders. And bring it back to the center. Knees to chest one more time. Float the head, neck, and shoulders, nose to knees. Squeeze in, deep flexion in the midsection. Now we're going to circle the legs away from each other, down and around and up and in through the center. Using the arms to move the legs and reverse the direction of the circles. Knees come in and down, legs widen and separate, and up and in. Squeeze, 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 closer, deeper breathing in. And now let's stretch everything out nice and long, total body stretch. Roll on up to a seated position where we will fold forward over the legs. Rolling down, stretch overhead. It's our roll-ups with a forward bend at the top. And the forward bend is intentional to bring the lower abdomen towards the thighs. Rolling down, pulling abs in, reaching overhead. Exhale on up, fold over the legs, let the spine round. Inhale overhead and exhale over the legs. Now we're going to bend the knees, folding over the legs, reaching for those toes, and try the same thing. The roll downs, the roll ups with the bent knees, bringing more pressure into the abdomen as it folds into the thighs at the top of the move. And you're keeping more of a C curve rounding in the spine. So the focus on the abdomen, the flexing, the rounding of the spine, the pressure into the abdomen as you breathe in is all helping to move any stuck energy, air, whatever there may be, to get things circulating, moving around in our gut a little bit better. And inhale, reach up tall, and exhale, let's fold over the legs, forward fold. And then release that stretch, cross one leg over the other. Legs are straight, you're squeezing the inner thighs together, and we're repeating that forward bend over the straight crossed legs. Stay for a moment at the bottom as you breathe in deeply. Bend that top knee and twist into that top leg so your opposite hand wraps around that top knee. Look over the back shoulder. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let's switch sides. Good job. Other leg crosses on top. We reach to the sky, nice and long, and keep that length folding over both legs. Relax shoulders. Try not to shrug or tense the shoulders. And then that top knee will bend. We'll twist towards that top knee. Opposite arm folding and pull the knee close to the chest as we look up and over that back shoulder. Flex the front foot. Press down into the back hand. And unwind. Let it go. We move into quadruped starting position. Rounding the back, it's the cat, arching the spine. Rounding the back, extending the spine. Exhale to round. Inhale to extend. Let the hips and pelvis participate, and as you exhale, let's try lifting the pelvic floor. Kegel as we exhale. Keep the hips and the knees where they are and just walk the hands over to the side. And let's try the cat from here. Exhale, Kegel as we lift the pelvic floor and round, and inhale, slowly release as we arch the back. So the hips and pelvis still moving, still participating. And let's walk the hands over to the other side. Just putting a side bend into our cat stretch. Round, drop the head and kegel on up with that pelvic floor. And arch the back, squeeze the shoulder blades gently. So the cat and cow is one of my daily moves. I try to do it as often as possible to keep that flow and circulation and gut health top of mind for every day. Extended cat stretch. We're going to extend the leg behind you and round the spine as the knee comes in, forehead to knee. An option to add the opposite arm, stretching forward as you extend and then wrapping around that knee to chest as it bends in. Leg number 2. First, just the leg and the spine and the head and neck. So bend the knee and round forehead to knee and straighten on out into neutral. Option to add the arm, and I'm using that hand just to squeeze the leg underneath me up and closer into the chest, nose to knee. Reach out, 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 long and strong. And release. Good job. Now legs are very close together here for our child's pose. So the abdomen can fold into the thighs again. So let the thighs create some pressure for the abdomen. Now breathe in deeply and feel how the abdomen expands into the thighs, and exhale, the abdomen contracts away from the thighs. Walk the hands over to the side for that side body bend. And see if you can exhale. The pelvic floor will lift up away from the heels, deeper into the body, up, 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 and up. Inhale, a slow release of the kegel. Kegel, really, really important. We should all know more about kegels. Kegel. Look it up and educate yourself about the kegel. You will not be disappointed. And you're taking the side stretch to the other side. Returning to the center. One final moment in the middle. And then rolling on up. Exhale, let's try the kegel here, lifting up, 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 lowering down, down, down. Exhale, pelvic floor, up, up, up. I'm just doing these arm gestures because sometimes it helps connect to the pelvic floor. The arms are something we can see the gesture, the symbolism of lifting up, and sometimes that may help us to also connect internally into the muscles we cannot see activating. So you can try the hand gesture, the lifting up, 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 if you find that that might help you better connect to your pelvic floor. And space behind you, knees bent. Let's take a slow and controlled roll down so we're onto our back yet again. Feet hip width apart. I'm just going to open the arms to that robot position. And we're going to add a twist and a bridge. So knees drop to the side, they come back to center, feet press down and hips lift up. So hips drop down as knees fold to the side, back to the center, we bridge in the middle. Twist, center, bridge, lift, and lower. Twist, other way, center, bridge, lift, and lower. Twist, center, exhale, kegel as we lift and lower. Twist and center, pelvic floor engaged, low abdominals tighten as we bridge. It's something we have to really think about. These muscles are not going to do it on their own. Now let's keep a little bridge lift and try arching and rounding the back. So we arch in our bridge, we round in our bridge. Tailbone drops to the floor, tailbone lifts to the sky. And I'm using my hands to help me find the rounding and the arching. It really makes a difference when I use my hands for some reason, as opposed to just finding it free form in my body. And now one hip is going to lift higher and come back to the center in the other hip. So it's like we're isolating the glute cheek One cheek will squeeze to lift that hip higher, and then switch the other side. And I'm just using my hands and arms to help me find precision of the move. Exhale, kegel on up, up, up. Inhale, down, down, down. Release the hips down and hug those knees in. Rock it out side to side. Big breath in. Let's flex up, forehead to knees. Let's rock from a flexion. So see if you can keep the head, neck, and shoulders up and still rocking side to side. Okay, now we're going to do a forward fold over the legs, but in a different upside down starting position. If you don't want to move into this next part, you can just repeat the seated forward fold over the legs. Exhale, let's do our kegel as we engage our abdominals and deepen our belly button, and just stretch both legs up to the sky. Flex and point the feet. This is a great move just to let blood flow occur. Part 2 is to get a little bit of momentum rocking forward and back so that we can actually lift the hips, low back and middle back away from the floor and towards a shoulder stand. Those hands are holding the low back. And if you feel like this is accessible for you and your body, you will let the straight legs drop overhead till the toes touch the floor. Sometimes I do this with the toes propped up on a pillow or yoga blocks or a coffee table or a fluffy dog. Toes don't have to go all the way down to the ground. But basically, this is, again, just really putting some pressure into the low abdominals, into the intestines. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Squeezing out all those toxins. And then lift the legs about halfway up. Release the arms and take your time slowly rolling the low back, hips down to the ground again. Legs will stay up to the sky. Arms will stretch overhead. And we'll do an ab curl here, looking forward to those thighs, heels high. Fingertips reach long. And release. Nice job. Let that go. Rolling like a ball, keeping the knees bent, holding around the knees and just rocking on the spine forward and back. C-curved spine, chin is a little low to the chest, and we'll stay at the top for this next one. Coming into a seated position, I'll sit up on a towel. I'm in a cross-legged position. And a little bit more focus on the navel and the low abdomen. Bring your hands to the lower abdomen, and we're going into a little Tai Chi move now. I love this one for digestion. It really works. So one hand on top of the other, the warmth of the palms pressing into the low abdominals. And we're going to draw little circles from the low abdominals to the belly button area, 9 times in one direction. Gentle pressure into the abdomen, and then switch the direction the other way, 9 times. Shoulders relax, keep the breath flowing, stirring up any kind of stagnant energy in our system. Now just hold the hands still, press a little bit deeper into the abdomen, close the eyes, think happy digesting thoughts. Inhale, reach arms up to the sky, palms together, down through heart center. And let's fold into that, folding forward over the legs, releasing head down. Now lock all that work in, all those good intentions. hoping that you feel better, that the circulation is flowing freely, and anything that needs to leave your body has left or will soon leave. Thank you for joining me. Until next time.